Up until very recently, I have been in a committed relationship with this girl I met in high school. We met somewhere in freshman year and started dating the year after. We were really compatible, spent pretty much every moment together, and I couldn't really see a future where we were not holding hands somewhere. We used to joke about how we had the stereotypical high school movie romance, but it was true. I did the big extravagant prom question and everything. We both ended up going to the same community college, and both of us made a conscious effort to go to the same university as well. Everything was perfect. When we hit university, that's where things began to change. We started fighting a bit more, but both of us knew that it was just stress from really getting into our school life. We both joined a fraternity sorority to meet new people and would occasionally go to parties, but we would always go together, and usually we would duck out after a while and hang out with each other. This was pretty common for us. It was maybe every week or two where we'd go to some event or something and hang out there. My girlfriend was usually the one more into it than I was, which only increased when she started hanging out with more of the girls in her sorority. The last couple of months, I've been preparing for this exam, which for my grade is basically make or break. I've been kind of effing up this semester, so me failing this class would be a big problem. I'd lose scholarships and some intern opportunities, and it would basically ruin a good chunk of the rest of my college life. I expressed this to my girlfriend and told her that I basically would have no free time other than working and studying. I thought she got it at first, but this kept becoming a problem. It was like every week she wanted to go to some party or some other event, and I just had to say no. I literally cannot fail this class if I want to do what I want to do. She just didn't get it, I guess, or maybe she didn't care. I don't know. Things during the day would be fine, a day trip to go visit somewhere, but it was always something that was going way into the morning. Wasn't happening, but every weekend or so I would get a call from my girlfriend who would tell me about some party that someone was throwing, and I just had to tell her I am busy and I can't go. This ended up getting us into a big argument recently. There was a big frat party coming on and she wanted to go. I told her the same thing that I've been telling her, that I couldn't go. She started getting on me about not being fun anymore, but I just told her that I can't fail. And that was that. I could have all the fun in the world once I'm done with what I've been prepping for. For a while, that was that. I dropped it. That same night, she came to my dorm and basically told me, "Hey, last chance to go to this party." I said the same thing that I've been saying. She got even more angry with me and walked off. She just left and told me she was going anyway. I said, okay, it's not like I've ever actually told her not to go to any of these. I just didn't go. I guess she always interpreted that as me saying that because I wasn't going, that she shouldn't either, but that's never been what I was saying. Anyway, at 3 in the morning, I get some knocking on my door. It's one of my frat buddies, and it's pretty obvious that he's sloshed. I just figured that he was trying to get me to go out. But no, he was at the party and told me that he saw my girlfriend bring another guy into her dorm room. At first, I just thought, this dude is drunk out of his mind. He probably saw someone that looked like her. I asked her what she was wearing. He described it to a T. Now I'm pissed. The two of us walk over to their side of the dorms and start knocking on her door. Another guy opens the door. So yeah, I'm pissed. My buddy gets the other guy while my girlfriend and I yell at each other. This went on for a long while, and I honestly don't even remember what all was said while we were fighting. But I remember she said something that she just wanted to have fun for once, and that I was dragging her down because I was just so focused on school. I didn't say anything and left after that. The day after, I got close to 100 messages and calls from her. I absolutely did not want to talk to her under any circumstance and just ignored her for the rest of the day. She caught me coming home when I got home from work, and we had a talk in my room. We ended up repeating a lot of the same argument that we had in her dorm the night before. At a certain point, she just stopped and asked what was going to happen from now on. I told her that I didn't want to be with her anymore, and that it sounded like she didn't want to be with me. When I said that, she burst out crying and asked me to take her back. I said no. That's when she laid this out on me. She offered to let me sleep with one of her friends as her way of saying sorry and getting us even. I couldn't believe that at all. I was sure she was doing some sort of weird trick, but no. This was her real, actual last-ditch effort in order to get back together. She even went into detail, like she had some in particular picked out that was willing to do it, and all of this stuff. She seemed really desperate for me to accept, so I did. I don't know if anyone else has ever had girlfriend-sanctioned sex before, but it's probably the most awkward situation I have ever been in. I've never met this girl before. I guess she was in the same sorority or something, but she was nice. We met up and had drinks the next weekend. I guess my girlfriend had explained to her the situation beforehand because she was already in the know about what was going on between us. I don't know if that makes it any better, to be honest. Well, anyway, we did the deed. It wasn't great. I felt no connection or attraction to this girl really at all. The day after, I called my girlfriend and broke up with her anyway. I didn't give her the reason. No amount of pimping out your friends is going to fix the damage she did. Story 2. First, a little history. My wife 26F and I 26M have known each other for 7 years now. We've had our ups and downs like any couple, but it has been a great roller coaster ride. For a couple weeks, I don't really think too much of it until I notice that while on her phone, she is typing. Typing a lot. Start of May and it's still going on. I've repeatedly asked her what she's doing. She shrugs me off and says nothing but is even more protective of her phone. Fearing the worst, I look through our email address and in the deleted messages find something in regards to an account my wife has on ashleymadison.com. My heart sinks. I can't believe it is happening. I try to log into her account. We have also been open about passwords and she really only ever uses like 3 different ones. So before long, I am logged in. At first, I'm furious. I see a couple dozen messages between her and other guys. I see that in her profile, it says she is looking for someone to make up for her lack of fun in the bedroom. As I look more at the messages, I see that she really isn't talking much to any of these people. Maybe 1 or 2 messages back and forth, and that's it. Our sex life has dwindled after we had our second child. From the pure exhaustion to the lack of intimacy, we had grown apart in this last year, emotionally and physically. We had talked about it before, how we kind of felt like roommates more than partners, but we didn't really do much about it. We were having sex once every few weeks when things lined up, but we weren't really making all that much of an effort. So over the next couple of weeks, our sex life was great. We both seemed to be making a more conscious effort, and things were starting to look up. But all during this time, she is still talking with someone on her phone, I can just tell. But every effort to get her to talk to me about it gets denied and shrugged off. Come May 23rd, I have the day off work. She's a stay-at-home mom. A week or so earlier, she mentioned that she was going to have lunch with a friend of hers that I know through her, but am not close with at all. As the morning goes on and she's getting ready to go, at like 11:30 in the morning, my brain starts to put some things together. Just a few days before she bought a new bra, which she's needed, and panties. That morning when I tried to initiate sex, she didn't want to for the first time in a while. And during my advance, I noticed she had cleaned herself up down there, which isn't unheard of for her, just kind of rare. Come time for her to leave and I don't say a word. I text her telling her how the kids are and asking how she is and don't get a response. So I log back onto her Ashley Madison account just to see if there is anything new. Still really nothing in weeks from anyone? Then I realize the email address listed on her account isn't ours anymore. It's one I've never seen. I attempt to log into it, and after some time, about an hour or so, I get in. And there are emails galore between her and a few guys, but mainly with just one. I then see a blinking chat thing in the corner and click on it, and it says, Hotel such and such, room 206, let me know when you're here. I freeze up with a mix between anger and sadness. I flip back a little bit and see that they have been regularly chatting every day for a month and a half, and even have had multiple hour-long phone conversations once I've gone to bed. By now it is almost 2 p.m., so I assume the worst, and that everything I have feared has happened already. I text her with, I effing knew it, and wait for her to get home. I pack a bag and call a friend who will let me stay with him for the night. She gets home and denies before finally giving in to what I already knew. She tells me that if it means anything that nothing happened, that when she got there, she couldn't go through with it and all they were talking about. I'm in such a furious rage that I don't believe a word she is saying. I tell her that I am leaving for a bit because I just can't stand to be around her. She ends up convincing me to stay at least until the kids are in bed, so I don't leave in front of them. I reluctantly agree and end up never leaving that night, which brings us to the current day. Over the past week and a half, we have talked a lot in actually a fairly calm and collective adult manner. She explained that when she first got on the website, it was due to our lack of intimacy. She was seeing what was out there, but didn't even know if she would act on it. Then she met him, and they had a connection that she was never expecting. He is also a married man. I should note 7 years older than us. She has always kind of had a thing for older men. Early on in our relationship, she continued to talk with her previous partner, who was an older man for quite some time before I found out, but we worked through it. Unhappy in his own relationship. An almost complete lack of sex or intimacy, but a love for his wife and family and 2 kids drove him to what he was doing. Neither of them was expecting to find what they did, but they are now in the position that they really like each other. Borderline love. My wife's basic argument over the past week or so is that she wants both of us in her life and can't really see it any other way. She has said her views on marriage have evolved over the past few months, and she sees nothing wrong with liking more than one person at a time. I do not hate her for feeling like this. And while I can understand how this could have happened, I just don't feel the same way as her. I'm not a religious person, but I feel like the sanctity of marriage is a sacred thing. Neither of us wants a divorce, and we still love each other very much. But she is set in her ways and what she wants, and me in mine. Over the past week, I have talked about compromise. After a week of talking, we've both just gotten frustrated. We keep going in circles and getting nowhere. One thing that is really affecting me is that I have no one to really talk to about it. She obviously has him and has been forward with me and told me that they have talked about everything that me and her have talked about. All my closest friends are also hers, so neither of us wants me to get them involved. I've suggested that we go to marriage counseling, which she is heavily against. She's afraid that the therapist will immediately side with me and make her feel like a bad person, and I think she might be finally warming up to it a little bit. I would love some input, chart, advice, or just general discussion about my situation, as I have just had myself to talk through this all the past few weeks. Also, being such a complicated scenario, I'm sure I've missed some details here and there, so feel free to ask questions. OP, if your wife has an emotional and physical attraction to him and wants to pursue it, then let her. But don't stay with her, because what does that leave for you? A wife attached to someone else that stays home all day and lives off your money without giving you any real emotional or physical connection? She sounds like she is being incredibly selfish. You are a person too. You deserve to be loved fully for who you are. If she can't give that to you, then she doesn't deserve you. If what she has with him is so special, then she probably should have had the balls to tell you that first. Honestly, what she wants is to keep you so that she has a fallback while she decides or finds out if this guy will be with her for the long haul.